Hey YouTube, I wanted to show you real quick an installation video of this ProoAuto Ram 1500 Rebel grill insert for my Ram 1500 Sport. It's the grill that has the 3 amber lights in the top, the lettering, and all the parts that came with it. And there's been some confusion about how it's installed, so I wanted to take a second to quickly show you how it's done. What I'll show you is actually the order in which you install the pegs, how you install those, and then I'll go and show you it on the 1500. Guys, so this is the back side of that same grill. Here you'll see where the connectors are for the amber lights. At first you get a little confused how these brackets go in, but they are numbered. There's the 1, as you can see that, there's the 1, and so on and so forth, 2, 3, and 4. And they go in with these screws up here. These ones right here in the middle, the 2 longer brackets, actually will be installed over these screws here. And then there's little nuts, locking nuts that will go in on the top. So I'll quickly show you how these are installed, and then we'll move forward. I hand tightened these 4 screws right here. I've already installed these other 2 sides because the right side is identical to the left, so I'm not going to show you screwing in all of them. These will tighten down with nothing more than a number 10 wrench, so it's simple enough. Hand tight it and then torque down. But be careful not to torque down too hard because this is a soft plastic. It's not some industrial grade plastic, so you could very easily break the plastic if you were to tighten too hard. So just go to a hand tight. There's no reason this has to be super strong. Okay, that's done. This also has a little notch in it, if you can see that. It's designed to kind of contour to the curve right here so you can get a flush fit. I just kind of pre-started those 4 screws. Once you get those in, we'll be moving over to the truck. Again, not to over tighten, you can easily break and strip the plastic. ProoAuto comes up with a nice product here. In reviewing the product itself, I already had it on my truck for a few days. I've already gone through several rainstorms and some pretty strong windstorms here in North Carolina. And I can tell you the product is well built. It's very lightweight. My only concern and probably only feedback would be that the plastic does scratch easily. So you gotta be careful with that because going through car washes, I gotta be very careful not to cause any scratches, but so far the plastic does seem to be well made, doesn't break easily, and the lights are also very bright, even at daylight, which I can appreciate. So all 4 of these are now installed. Let's move on over to the truck and we'll show you how these go on. The light comes with this harness with all 3 brackets here. They install in the back simply by just marrying the 2 ends together. Once you plug those in, best thing to do is probably take some duct tape. I like the Gorilla duct tape best because it's black and it hides really well behind these grills. So once those are plugged in, take these and kind of hide them in place. I have 2 pieces of that tape already handy. So I'm gonna kind of line up these neatly and feed them into this top channel right here so it allows them to kind of be hidden. I don't like these wires to be exposed from the front side because this honeycomb grill can be seen through pretty well, and what's more ugly than wires exposed. Kind of press those down firmly. Take my second piece of tape and we'll do the other 2 wires. And then I have them feeding up here through the inside up into towards the battery. ProoAuto recommends that you splice into the indicator lights on the headlights. That is one way to do it. This video will not show you how that's done, but that's not how I installed mine. And all I can do is show you how I did it. It's not hard. If you want to splice into it, go to AutoZone or any of your local part stores, and you can easily buy some splice kits to connect the wires. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to install these bolts real quick. Okay, so one thing I wanted to show you, there's a little channel down here that's a part of the bumper, and it will give you a more seated look. I'll get my hand down here and show you. This right here is a part of the factory bumper, and this double-sided gray side is a part of the actual grill, and it kind of seats inside. And there's 3 of those, one on each side and one in the middle. If you don't get those inserted, you're gonna have a really bad gap down below, and it's gonna look funky. So all you have to do now is install those 4 bolts on top, and we'll then wire it all up. Hand tight them at first. Obviously, you want it to be as straight as possible, and if you screw on one, you may lock in a crooked angle. I only have 3 screws. You're supposed to have 4. Don't lose one like me. It's just one of the corner ones. There's no real difference if you miss it. If you do lose one, it still sits pretty straight. You're not gonna notice on the exterior if you're missing one, but it's helpful if you don't mess up that way. So right here, if you look, that's where I'm missing that last screw. I don't have one for that. It comes forward a little bit, nothing that I'm ever worried about. Okay, so let me show you how I wired this thing. The harness wiring kit that originally came with the bumper does, or the grill does come through here, and it connects towards the back here into just a double N negative and positive terminal. Now, they recommend that you take this and you splice into the indicator light down below on the headlight, so that when you turn on your indicators for your headlights, it will automatically coincide with the front 3 amber bulbs. I didn't do it that way because I didn't want to mess with the bulb wiring inside of the headlight unit. So I decided to go onto eBay, just look up a wiring harness that connects to a rocker panel switch. It's a little easier for me. It comes with its own single fuses, and then it's pretty straightforward with the negative and positive terminals. This is the part, though, that I think that I recommend everyone doing. Most people try to wire harnesses through door jambs. It's possible to do it that way, obviously. It's the easier of the 2 ways to do it. I recommend going through the firewall. That's how I did it. So let me show you that spot. So if you look in here, I have duct tape covering it, but there's a little panel. Let me take the tape off. There's a little panel right there that is exposing you to your firewall on the Ram 1500. It's nothing more than a soft piece of rubber that you can drill through. And so I drilled a small hole that's designed for wires just like this. So it's actually the proper location, according to Ram, to be drilling through firewalls. It's very simple, and it comes in right behind the firewall, underneath your steering wheel, behind the pedals. It's very user-friendly. So let me put the tape back on, and then I'll show you where those cables led to and the rocker panel I used. I only put tape on it because it makes me feel better knowing that the hole's covered up. Maybe for any bit of liquid that could possibly get in there. And again, I can't speak enough good things about this Gorilla duct tape. This stuff is awesome. So in here, go inside the Ram. Underneath here, takes you to the back of the firewall. Up there. That's the tail end of where that screw was, where those wires went to, and they just go in there. Okay, so really simple. You do want to make sure you screw, though, you drill in the center, because if you don't, you're going to be hitting this plate. It's not going to work so well, but it's designed to have that hole there already, so that when you wire it, it's going to be set up. And then I have nothing more than a little 3-panel switch. So when I do that, it actually activates the amber lights up in front. So that's how I did it. I'll quickly get it all buttoned up, the hood closed, and I'll show you the finished product. It shows here that the amber lights are working, and it's a pretty bright day. It's very bright outside, so these lights are still relatively bright. They work pretty well in the daytime. As I mentioned, they're not connected to the headlight. I used that rocker panel with the wire harness. It just worked better for me. I did notice that I have some wires that are coming down right here, as you can see. So as you duct tape those up, do a better job than I did so the wires aren't exposed, because this honeycomb grill is pretty transparent, and any wires that are dangling behind, you're going to be able to see. This is the truck that I put them on. It's my Ram 1500. I'm very happy with it. It's a year 2016 Sport. And if you have any questions, post the comments below and I'll be happy to answer. But again, this is the Ram Rebel 1500 Rebel style grill through ProoAuto. Product's great. Thank you, Proo. Appreciate you making this, and thanks for helping us have cooler trucks.